Basically just get used to the fact that Korean is a very phonetic language and it does not sound anything like English. Hi lovely people, welcome back to my channel. If it's your first time joining me, hi, my name is Jessica. I'm a big fan of the Korean culture and I do videos every week, so I hope you enjoy hanging with me today. So I've been learning Korean for a few months now and I just wanted to make a quick video just to talk about how I got started. I was first introduced into Korean culture through their skincare, and you can see my first two videos on my channel are also skincare related, and it's something that I'm very interested in and very passionate about, and I think K-beauty is bomb. Much like many other people here, further on I then got into K-drama and then K-pop, and it was a lovely black hole that sucked me in, and then I started learning Korean. I started this journey of learning about 5 months ago, so I'm still very much a beginner, but hopefully this video will be useful to some people who have just started themselves or are thinking about starting. So I'm just going to go into the first 5 steps that I took when I started learning Korean. Like I said, I got into Korean language through K-pop because I just really desperately wanted to be able to rap along to RM Sugar and Jaeyne. So one of my friends had been learning Korean previously in the past, and she got tired of me forcing her to learn the song so she could teach me the song. And she just basically turned to me and she said, "You can learn it yourself. The alphabet is super easy to learn. Please just give it a try." So there I go, going onto the YouTube verse. That's the first thing that I did. I went onto YouTube and I started looking for alphabet songs so that I can start to familiarize myself with what the sounds in the alphabet actually sounded like. So that was step 1, learn the alphabet. However you choose to or start to learn the alphabet, basically just get used to the fact that Korean is a very phonetic language and it does not sound anything like English. I then went on to download some apps. So the first app that I downloaded and probably used for the longest period of time consistently was Duolingo. And I know for some people out there, when they first started learning Korean, Duolingo didn't have Korean as a language on its app, and it was pretty much added only about a year ago. But went on to Duolingo and I used that to learn what the characters looked like and to practice how well I knew the sound to the character, especially right at the beginning before you start getting any grammar or sentence structures or politeness levels involved. Just for the alphabet, it's really good, it's really quick, it's super easy to learn it. You can do it in a few hours, and then it's all about practice after that to get yourself into a more comfortable state of listening and using the alphabet. I used other apps alongside Duolingo, and I'll probably make another video talking about each of the apps that I used, the pros, the cons, my tips about it, so please look forward to that. That'll be coming soon. Also did, which was my third step when I was learning, was I downloaded a podcast. So I just went onto Spotify and I literally just typed learning Korean, and I came across Talk to Me in Korean's podcast. I'm sure lots of you know about Talk to Me in Korean. It's a great resource, online podcast on YouTube. If you don't, check them out. If you want me to talk more about them in another video, just leave a comment down below. So they started the podcast about over a year and a half ago now, and it's split into levels. So you start with level 1, and then level 1 has about 20-ish episodes, and then you go on to level 2, and then level 2 has a certain level of episodes as well for you to go through. And it was really cool because I could just download the episodes on Spotify. They'll just go through some vocabulary, some grammar, sentence structures, just to get you sort of started. I think it's on level 9 at the moment. What was really good about it was that I just kept on going back. So when I learned something on Talk to Me in Korean and I was doing something in one of the apps, I would use them in conjunction together, and then I'd go back if I didn't understand something. I'd go back to the podcast and I'd re-listen to it again. They're really small bite-sized episodes, so it makes it really easy to be able to just pop back in, and it just felt really good when I started to realize slowly by slowly that I was understanding what it was that I was learning. So the next 2 steps are pretty much similar to about 98% of the population learning Korean at the moment. I went back to the roots, what got me into it. So I went back to K-pop, I went back to the BTS songs, I would print out the lyrics, I would try to read the lyrics, I'd listen to the songs, I'd try to compare. Essentially the best thing about doing that isn't so much to learn any sort of grammar. When you're learning Korean, you'll realize just how specific the grammar is, just how different the grammar is to English. For me, as a brand new language with brand new sounds, brand new alphabet, which different characters, it was really good to go back to something that you enjoy doing. Thankfully for me, because BTS are really active on Twitter, they're always tweeting, and they're always tweeting in Korean. So I would use that as an opportunity to not necessarily test myself, because I might not know anything in that in the tweet at all. But I would use it as practice for reading. I'd read it, I'd sound it out as I'm reading along, and then I would press the Google Translate button or use one of the wonderful Twitter translation accounts that they are available, and go back to music. It's just something light, something fun, something that you can sort of learn without really realizing that you're learning. It's something that you can continue doing in the long term, which is great. The fifth step that I did, which is linked to going back to music, is K-dramas. So if you're interested in K-dramas, if you're watching any K-dramas like I am, you'll find similar to music that there's words and phrases and different things that they say in the dramas that help build your vocabulary. Now, depending on who's talking to who, if it's two friends, if it's a high school show, or if it's an adult show, maybe they're talking to each other really casually, but you still, again, like music, get to actually pick up words and learn phrases. And again, it's just fun. It's like you enjoy the drama, you're watching the drama for fun, but whilst you're watching it, you just listen, you're just listening. And I'd sort of give myself a pat in the back whenever I was like, they translated it to this, but I actually heard what they said, and what they said meant this. It's the little things that you treat yourself for, and you just make sure you pat yourself on the back for learning, for understanding. It's not a sprint, it's a marathon, it's a slow journey. For some people might pick it up really quickly, some people might not, but the whole idea is just not to give up, to keep going, and acknowledge when you're doing something right, and try not to focus on if you get something wrong. So those are the 5 steps that I took when I first started learning Korean. There is a 6th tip that I think is really important, which is setting yourself goals. So when I first started on Duolingo, what I found was really good. You can set yourself a goal of how much revision, how much learning you actually want to get done on that day, and they give you sort of a point system. So it's based off of the target that you set yourself. And I started off on 5 minutes, and I moved on slowly until it was 20 minutes. Sometimes my goal would be I would do 5 or 6 lessons on Duolingo, and I would listen to 2 lessons on Talk to Me in Korean. So set yourself a goal. I started really casually, didn't want to put pressure on myself. I wanted to make the journey really light, really fun, just to sort of see what it was like. I wanted to dip my toe in, see what the language was actually like to learn. Like I said, the alphabet is really, really easy, and that gives you a really good confidence boost once you start to get it and you understand the sounds. And then we move on to all of the different grammar structures. And I do think Korean is not an easy language at all, and I think it's really difficult for me because it's different to all of the previous languages that I've learned. I'm enjoying the journey so far a lot. Remember, learning is a journey and you don't have to rush it. All on the same roller coaster together. The idea is just to have fun. So that's how I started learning Korean, and the first few steps that I took. Let me know if you're currently learning Korean and what stage you're on, any resources that you would recommend. Please just leave a comment down below. I will be doing more videos in the future about my top tips for learning Korean, the best apps for learning Korean. Still on my journey, and I have other things up my sleeve that I'm going to partake in to help boost my Korean learning, so I'm excited to be able to share with you how all of that goes. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed today's video, please hit the subscribe button down below and the little bell next to it so that you never miss out when I have a new video and you're notified the second one is uploaded. Until then, have a blessed day, and I'll see you next time. Bye.